Keir Starmer has insisted the UK does not have to choose between the US and the EU. The Prime Minister has said it's not an either-or and that both relationships were important to Britain, and would be for many, many years to come. But what's going on, and why is this question making headlines? With Donald Trump back in the White House, the question of tariffs has been high on the agenda in recent weeks. The US President has agreed to hold off on 25% tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico, and imposed a 10% rate on Chinese imports, sparking fears of a trade war. Trump has also vowed to impose tariffs on the European Union, and expressed his unhappiness with the US's trade deficit with the bloc, meaning America imports more from Europe than it exports to the continent. With Britain now separate from the EU following Brexit, the UK has its own relationship with the US, and Trump has implied a better deal with the UK could be worked out. He told reporters in recent days that Starmer has been very nice, and that the two leaders are getting along very well after numerous phone calls. However, this all comes as Starmer is aiming to reset the UK's relationship with the EU, potentially putting the PM on a collision course with Team Trump. So what's happening with the EU? On Monday, Starmer attended a European Council dinner, with the aim of forging closer ties on defence, security and trade. The PM stressed he wanted the UK and the EU to maximise the industrial weight and clout that we have together, and work together in all these ways and more. And he was eager not to pick a side when it came to choosing between the EU and the US. Asked about tariffs, Starmer said, "It's early days, and I think what's really important is open and strong trading relations, and that has been the basis of my discussions with President Trump." A Downing Street spokesperson previously said the UK and US have a fair and balanced trading relationship, which benefits both sides of the Atlantic. They added, "It's worth around $300 billion, and we are each other's single largest investors, with $1.2 trillion invested in each other's economies." The potential clash also comes as Starmer is set to host the Danish Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, for dinner at number 10, amid a diplomatic row between Denmark and the US over Donald Trump's claims that he wants to acquire Greenland. And what have others said? The UK-EU relationship is a key effort for some of Starmer's ministers. Speaking in Brussels on Tuesday, Cabinet Office Minister Nick Thomas-Symonds, who is leading on the so-called reset, said the UK would be ruthlessly pragmatic, and that reducing trade barriers is of mutual benefit to the UK and the EU. While NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte said both the US and Europe realise Ukraine is a geopolitical issue, adding that for so many reasons we have to stay connected. And Reform UK leader Nigel Farage, a long-standing campaigner for Brexit, said he believes the UK can be friendly with the EU, but argued, if we start to tie ourselves to industrial collaboration, as appears what was agreed last night, then we find ourselves with less flexibility in doing deals with countries like America. What do you think of the UK's relationship with the US and the EU? Let us know in the comments, and follow City AM for more on this and other political stories.